When I came to the US almost 10 years ago, actually 10 years ago, I had no clue about corporate environment, working in American companies. Therefore, I had no idea how to even communicate properly. Small talk, no clue what that was. I did not know how to connect with people. And the first months at Squarespace, the first company that I had worked, were pretty hard on me. There was a moment where I would respond to people whenever they asked me how I was doing, and as a good German and good Mexican that I am, I'm half half by the way, I would just open up and pour out my heart. Back then we were living in New York, so whenever someone was like, "Hey, Kirsten, how are you doing?" I would be like, "Oh, the commute was intense. I don't know. Like there were like a bunch of crazies in the subway, and this happened and that happened." People would look at me like, "What is she talking about?" Sometimes they would just leave me standing there talking to myself, or just like, "Hey, what's up?" and not even wait for any response and just keep walking. I honestly thought no one liked me. Out of the 100 people or so that we were in the office, I truly thought there was something completely wrong with me. So one day I came home to my husband and I told him that I was really sad and really disheartened and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And so he sat down with me and asked me why, what's happening. So I told him about the whole, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing, Kirsten?" and not getting any responses back. He just looked at me and said like, "Oh, baby, the thing is that no one really wants to hear truly an answer. You just say everything's fine back, or you just don't say anything and just keep walking, just ignore it." And you do the same when you ask them, "Hey, how are you doing?" You don't really wait for any response. And I couldn't understand that for the life of me. I'm like, well, what's the purpose of asking how someone is doing if you don't really want to hear the answer? But true. I went back to the office the next day, and whenever someone would ask me how I was doing, I would just say, "Fine." And I would be very happy with that and just move and go about their day. And I would do the same. And so the solution was understanding how people communicated around me. I needed someone local from the US to show me or explain to me what the norm is and what was normal here. Whether I liked it or not, there was an opportunity for me to adapt, right? I couldn't just expect people to behave the way I was used to, even if that would have been the most comfortable way. But I needed to learn how to properly communicate and adjust to the new environment that I was in. And that carried along throughout my entire career, even to this point. And that's where eventually, in a previous job, I requested an executive coach to work with me because the company that I had joined, a big nonprofit organization, they just communicated very differently. They were organized very differently. I was coming from a tech company, for profit. So I had no idea what this new environment was for me. And I wasn't doing very well, to be honest. So I worked with that executive coach, and with his help, I learned communication tools. I learned tools to listen. I learned tools on how to pay attention to my environment, on how to work within that environment. But it also helped me to understand that while I have the responsibility to change and adapt, I didn't necessarily have to change who I was as a human being and my values. So if you are in a either new environment in a new country that you're working or living in for whatever reason, if you are changing jobs and you're going to be in a different environment than before, coaching truly can help you overcome any communication challenges and truly any challenges that you're facing.